Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Tanisha Ali channel. I am in quarantine. I got about 7 more days. I have been down and out since about, I think, the 25th or the 26th. Kind of losing track of time. A little bit of mental confusion going on. Today is the first day I felt probably at 70, 80% better. With the shortness of breath I was experiencing. Shout out to Shay here on the channel, my girl. We chatted a little bit today, shooting the shit for a while, and that helped to keep my mind off of the shortness of breath. So while I sit in quarantine, dealing with some issues not only in my life as I meditate and deal with what's going on outside, it's been wonderful because it's given me a chance to be still. And as you all know, everybody's busy. So you're no different. I'm no different than you are, but running multiple YouTube channels, the Patreon channel, which I really love. Those my fam coming to there as well as coming into the Sisterlocks channel. My heart is between here and Butterfly Transformations, but I also have an office which I'm still maintaining. Even though I haven't been in there much since March, I still keep it, and in paying for that, I occasionally will do other things as a part of my practice. And you can look in the description to see what that's about. Some of you have reached out to me, and we already know each other. Shout out to Tigress. I wish I could remember everybody's name when I want to give these special shout outs. Armada, Natalie, Melbell Oracle. Check her website out. Dolly, love you, Dolly. Gonna mention you on the channel soon. Gotta let you guys know about Dolly. She has a Sisterlocks channel as well. There's just so many sisters. I can't mention everybody. Cheryl, Sheila, and the list goes on. I'm so grateful. Y'all have enriched my life in a multitude of ways. So what are we talking about today? Because I'm going to use this time to film at least one video every day and put it in the queue. So they will come up at least once a week, and I can get ahead maybe a couple of 3 months before my schedule gets busy again. I am working on another book while being here in seclusion. I hope to have that book ready by December. By the end of December, no later than hopefully the end of January. We will see. If you haven't purchased my other book, I gotta do what do they call it when you give yourself a plug? This is my channel, so obviously I gotta do a plug. If you haven't purchased my Manifesting Your Masterpiece book, do that on Amazon. You can also get it on Barnes & Noble. It's not a chapter book, okay? But it's all the things that I've implemented and learned in my life over the years to get my life out of the ditch. I used to be one wreck of a person, and I'm not perfect today. Trust me when I tell you that. None of us are ever going to be perfect, which is why we have to shut our mouths and not judge other people. Or we have to watch when we hear ourselves judge other people, because none of us are perfect. But those principles in that book helped me to get to where I am today. And the next book is what I'm using to help me get to the next level. And so the principles are maybe built on some of that, but they take that to another level. And it's what is bringing happiness and clarity into my life, even though I may be letting some things go in my life, simplifying my life so that I can get to where I feel is my part of my destiny. So anyway, these next several videos I'm going to be doing, y'all, going to have some pretty heavy issues we're going to be dealing with related to these locks. I'm still going to put some spiritual content on the channel because there's a lot going on spiritually right now with COVID. And I think it's important for you to know. So if you know that you connect with me on this channel beyond this hair, believe it or not, this hair has a spiritual backdrop as well. But if you know that you connect with me on this channel, and one of the reasons why that last video cut off pisses me off, because then it means I have to edit it, which means that's an extra 30 minutes to an hour of time when you're doing a lot of things. That's kind of a hassle. But anyway, a cutoff around me saying, if you connect with me on this channel, and there's something else to why you feel you come to the channel, maybe you like my personality, or maybe you see something in what I'm talking about, whatever it is, and you think it's beyond the hair, please check me out on my Butterfly Transformations channel, which is youtube.com/butterfly transformations. That's my spiritual channel. That's the channel where I talk about all things related to increasing your vibration, understanding how to live a better life. As a spiritual mentor and a life coach and an energy healer, this is what I do. Don't confuse spirituality with religion. I don't discuss religion with people. I don't discuss politics with most people either, because those things are none of my business. And those are the things that divide people. And I believe in finding things that we all have in common rather than focusing on our differences. So the religion aspect does not come up. I don't want you to be intimidated if you see me pull a card. I've had a few people on the channel, because I may pull cards and talk about them, and they have a level of ignorance about what this is all about and haven't bothered to shine the light of awareness and grow their mind. They assume that this has something to do with witchcraft or whatever it is, or whatever box that they may be in, without understanding that this is a card. You can get these cards like you can get many different books. This card has 2 words on it. This book has, I don't know, 300 words on it. I get information from this book. I get information from this card. When I read my book to you, I can read a line or 2, and then other things come to mind. When I look at this card, I can read these 2 words and other things come to mind. For example, this says personal power. I talk to you about what it means to be in your personal power. This is nothing crazy going on with it. There's no witchcraft in this. When you understand how energy works, you understand that you get what you need when you need it. When it's time for the lesson, the teacher appears. There may be something I'm talking about on a particular day that you needed to hear. You come into my life today, shout out to Shay Hinton from the channel, loving you again, girl. Came into my life to share some experiences with me that helped to enrich my life that I needed to hear while in COVID. So don't let that channel intimidate you. You may find there's certain videos on the channel you can benefit from, and certain other ones you're not interested in. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Go to Butterfly Transformations and subscribe to that website. That's my baby. That's my heart. Just like this channel is my baby and my heart. And y'all are my sisters. That's my soul tribe as well. So that's what makes sitting in COVID so wonderful, because I get to make a lot of videos because I'm finally having to sit, and I'm not working this week, and I'm probably taking off all of next week, depending upon how I feel. And it gives me a chance to love on y'all. And by loving on y'all, I get to love on me, because I love loving on y'all. So we'll be talking about stuff that has to do with the difficulties of having locks. Sisterlocks. You can apply it to traditional locks. You can apply it to microblades, interlocks, and everything else. The point is that there are some real things that we need to become aware of. We can't wear these because of the way they look and not take time to really look into what may be happening to our hair underneath. Nobody wants to be on an 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, or even 2-year journey and start losing their locks. There is no one loctician that is going to be able to tell you everything, because there's no one person that knows everything. And just like me, the more we think we know, the less we realize we actually know. There's so much to know. You can go to 7 different doctors and they'll tell you 7 different things, just like they're trying to tell me about why I'm ill. At the end of the day, who knows best about assessing my situation? I do. Because I know me, I know my body, I know how I respond to things. I know all of that, and no doctor, regardless of their degree, can tell me whether or not I'm having a withdrawal impact or some type of sensitivity to a particular muscle relaxant, for example, that they may have given me for my back pain, just because I don't fit the textbook description of somebody that may have a sensitivity to something. Nobody can tell you that your locks don't need oil. How the hell are you going to tell me my locks don't need oil when I got peeling happening up here. My scalp is itching and it's causing me to have to scratch my scalp, which is creating some type of friction, which is also creating some destruction. You're going to tell me not to put something on my scalp to heal it. That's like me telling you not to brush your teeth and they look crazy and your gums are infected. You have plaque, but I'm telling you not to brush your teeth. Okay, to each his own. So I'm saying this to say we have to discuss some of these issues. And as I bring forth more of these videos over the next few weeks, because I'm going to try to film one every day for the next 7 days, which means if I release one of those videos each week, hopefully each week you'll have some content. Before I dig into today's topic, I want to ask you to please, with these next series of videos, I want you to click on the link in the description that will be at the top. It will give me a chance to get your name, your address, and your email, and other issues related to problems you're experiencing with your locks. Why is this important? Because we have to band together. We have to require accountability for those people who are doing our hair and those people who we love, but those people who are taking our money and not giving us what we deserve to get as clients. We have to be in a position where Miss Cornwell feels like there's something that she needs to respond to, that people are having problems that are worth taking a listen to. So if we don't band together and if we don't form a solid, unified, cohesive group, we're not going to be able to do that successfully. So please don't be what do we call it? People who just stand by and watch things, a witness, I forget what you call them, but they stand by and they watch things, but they never do anything. We all have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to speak up, especially if you have issues with your locks that you don't need to have. It's one thing if you're not aware and you just don't know. So hopefully by watching these next several videos, you'll be able to start to pay more attention to what's going on with your hair, because if it's hurting you, it's hurting me. If it's hurting me, it's going to eventually get to you. I did a video, the last video I did, I showed you 2 of our sisters who've lost a lot of hair. We're no longer accepting that we need to see a dermatologist for certain types of hair loss, because certain types of hair loss are related to alopecia, certain types of alopecia, and a lot of other things. But alopecia is also something that can happen because of repeated stress on the strands. We're no longer going to just sit by and be quiet and not be treated with respect when we're putting out thousands of dollars for these hairstyles. We have to start holding people accountable. And we're living in a time and day, if you're paying attention to what's going on spiritually, things are becoming more transparent. I talk about this all the time. We're moving up to the heart chakra. We're dealing with what affects one affects all. We're talking about the ways in which we've been living dysfunctionally, the ways in which we need to heal karma, the ways in which we need to deal with transgenerational drama, curses, dysfunction in our families, and all kind of chaos. It's about trying to get your life right and trying to do what works for you and freeing yourself, not only from what other people think, but taking responsibility and freeing yourself from the things that you may have done to harm other people. It's about accountability. So we can no longer be in situations where we don't speak out about certain injustices. And we spent a lot of money on this hair, so that's what we're going to talk about today. This is not one of those videos. I'm going to get to those videos tomorrow, but this particular video is a response to a lady from the channel, and her name is Keisha Edwards. So shout out to Keisha Edwards. And I want to say thank you, by the way, to a lot of you all who take the time to comment. I may not always be able to get to them and respond to them. And I know moving forward I won't be able to, because I need to cut some things out of my life to free up some time in my schedule to relax a little bit more. But don't think that I don't see them. And trust and know that I'm growing this channel for a reason. I'm not just growing this channel to sit up here and talk about hair. I'm growing this channel for a reason. It's a part of what I'm supposed to be doing in terms of forming a sisterhood. It's also part of what I'm supposed to be doing to make sure that we are treated with the type of respect that we deserve to be treated with. It's for the purpose of helping to heal, to gain clarity, like you always hear me say, clearing and healing in emotional and energetic blockages so that you can manifest the glory of God that is within you, that is a part of your divine birthright. You know, I do healing work. Many of you have come to me for that healing work. This channel also allows me to meet you and serve you. Many of you are enjoying the Miracle Grow oil. Thank you for that. I love you for that. By the way, if you have not liked, subscribed, shared, or commented, please do that. Hit the thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithms. If you want to contact me, my information is always in the description no matter what. Again, the next few videos, I'll put a link there. I may try to pin it in the comment section. I have to get Ronnie to show me how to do that, because that'll allow you to click right from the video, and then you can put your name and address. That puts you on not only a mailing list, it gives me your email, lets me contact you about various things related to hair and maybe other matters as well, but it also allows you, if we need to come together as a collective to get justice, then we're able to do that in an organized fashion. So if that's something that you're interested in, all of you who comment on the channel about various things and complaints and so forth, whether it's a loctician complaint or something to do with the Sisterlocks company, then you need to be clicking on that link, and you need to be making your contact information available. We may need it in the long run. I don't know at this point. We will see. But God willing, you will do that. So to Keisha, her comment is, I've recently started to question the long-term sustainability of locks of all types. This is critical. Most long-term lockers I've seen eventually thin out or even bald. I've talked about that. Getting past that 10-year mark and seeing people have thinning all over. You saw the last video with some pictures of our sisters. I have more videos coming up with pictures of more of our sisters. For those of you who are experiencing any type of lock loss, please send pictures to my phone, 678-438-6442. And send pictures and a brief description of your issue, and make sure you let me know. Send me a before picture and an after picture. Let me know what you think it caused the breakage. Okay, this is going to be very important in terms of documentation. We need to get this. So here we have most long-term lockers I've seen eventually thin out or even bald. I've had locks multiple times. I am a serial lock wearer, though I've never started over due to these issues. So she didn't have those issues that made her start over. She's aware of these issues, but she's saying, you know, I start them over maybe for style reasons or something else. However, given my own observations and analysis, I don't think I'm going to keep this set for much longer, going on 4 years. Instead, I plan to refocus on loose natural hair care, and you can understand why, because she's starting to think these locks are, while beautiful, it may be harder to keep them long term than we think. This is something we have to think about. Sadly, I believe a lot of women turn to locks out of frustration or avoidance, meaning we may not want to do our hair. Maybe we're avoiding some other things, as well as the desire to have long hair. We can have long, natural, flowing hair too, not just in locks. Y'all know that, and Keisha knows that as well. I'd rather have thick, mid-length hair than long, sparse, crazy-looking locks. Y'all, we can understand everything she's saying, right? Because that's what we talk about. So, I just want to talk about some simple things. I got long locks, right? Y'all see these rascals. They long, right? Talking about 9 years, right? Something like that. Now, I talk about things that help thin the locks out, but there are a lot of things that I do that I didn't realize until I started really thinking about it today. For example, I pull a shirt on over my head. When I pull a shirt on over my head, my locks, and it can be aggravating because it's a lot of hair. So I just kind of pull them up like this. I don't take my time. We have to baby our hair. We have to start babying our hair. When I go to bed at night, I go to bed like this. Y'all know I stopped using caps and stuff a long time ago. I don't deal with the lint like I used to. Changed the Miracle Grow formula is working out good for me. but it would probably help me to sleep with a satin cap, which is something I probably need to get serious about. Why? Because they're getting longer. The other thing that Cheryl, one of our sisters that's going to be, see if she's in here, she's going to be in one of my next videos. All right. This beautiful sister, let me show you her picture. Wonderful lady reached out to me today. Beautiful, right? Look. She brought up something very important. When we add hair to our locks, I have 2 locks in my hair that I added hair to. Y'all probably saw me do it on the channel. Where is it? We do that for any number of reasons. Adding these hair extensions. There's a short piece in here, and what I did was add another piece because that piece kept sticking up. It wasn't long enough. So I said, let me add it to give my, you see my hair gets caught in there and I drag it through. That's creating breakage. Need to get my nails done, but I'm in here in COVID, so I can't, I'm in COVID, in whatever. So I can't do that. But anyway, so what happens is she brought to my attention because she had gray added to her hair. And you see how beautiful it looks, right? But what happens that she explained and what I totally agree with, because I used to do a couple things I thought about. I used to do individual braids in college to make money. I used to do box braids, and so you used to add hair. And when you added the synthetic hair, it dried out and broke a lot. When you added the human hair, you still lost hair, but the damage was not as pervasive. Bottom line is when you add anything to your hair, the hair can't breathe. That thing that you're adding to your hair is not living. Your hair is still living as long as it's on your head. Once you start adding stuff, see, I can find this thing anytime I want to, except today. A hair can't breathe, right? So, anyway, I'm going to just, there it is. Here it is. Okay, so you add, this was a sloppy ad, y'all. It's not for cosmetic purposes. It's for utility. I'm not good at this. It looks crazy. Here's a perfect example. You see? That looks crazy. You with Tanisha Ali of Butterfly Transformations. This is what I do. Okay? So you see this? Now, I have one more in here that I did as a lock. And I did it this way, and it looks like this. And it's actually a part of the lock. So that one is probably not as high risk. But when you add hair to your hair, the weight of what you're adding, when you add it initially, it's going to help your hair grow and it's going to strengthen the hair to a degree. Once it starts to grow out like this, there's going to come a point where this is going to be thicker than this, all right? And as such, this is going to be heavy. It may seem marginal to you, but for the strands of hair up here that are responsible for standing up and being counted from the root, this is going to weigh them down. And over time, something that simple that feels feather light is going to cause this to weaken. And as with her hair, the whole lock will fall out eventually. So this is something that I'm going to rethink, and I'm probably going to take this out soon. Now, it's not that you can't do these things to your hair. It's that you can't do this along with all of the other unhealthy things that you may be doing. And because you have a certain type of hair, you may not be able to do this at all. Or maybe you can only do this for a few months while you grow a few inches and then you have to take it out. The thing is, you have to look at all of the things that you're doing to your hair that could be creating breakage. So with this situation, it's something I have to think about. I wanted to talk a little bit about thinning locks. I used to have a lock right up here that was super, super, super thin. I think it was this one. You can hardly tell. Look at that. Yep. And it was so thin, I remember Ifraj wanted to, she wanted to combine the locks. And this was around the time that I myself had been asking her to split some of the locks up at the top because they were too thick. They were real thick around here. And it made my hair look not so great. And I'm kind of picky anyway. Somebody else may not have cared. But I asked her to separate them. And over time, I had a piece up here that was extremely thin. Now, it wasn't that thin when I first had it installed, but it became thinner because of the retightenings. This was really before I knew anything in the beginning. So as it thinned out worse and worse, it was forming like a little peak up here. It got very thin. And so I said, okay, this is the lock that every 2 weeks I'm going to gently retighten it, very gently, because the longer it sat, and I'm telling you, it couldn't have been more than about 5 strands of hair. But I didn't want to retighten it because when I looked at the box, I said, well, this box, I should be able to get 30 strands. Let me try to grow this hair. So I started putting castor oil in it every day, and I would just rub it. I might put castor oil and a drop of rosemary, and I would just rub it. And then it started to grow. And then I would twist it very gently. This is me. You don't have to do what I do. I'm not an expert. I'm only an expert in my own life. And so then I would pull it through to try to protect the hair. So now it's not dangling. And now as you see, and this has been about maybe 2-3 years, I can't even tell which one of these it was. And it used to even be where there was a thinning in this part of the lock. So somehow or another, that hair grew down and it began to thicken. And I think it's this one. The lock is what I would consider healthy at this point, considering the way it used to be, because it had various areas of thinness throughout the lock. So all is not lost. It's not that you can't do anything. You have to do something, and you have to figure out what works for you, and you have to give yourself permission to be creative. And that may mean putting oil in your hair when somebody told you you couldn't. That may mean retightening these little ones around here, depending on your situation. You know, I'm a proponent of not retightening any 4, 5, 6, 7 week period. However, you may find that you need to retighten these yourself, because if you try to wait 8 weeks and these get to be too long without being retightening, they are, in a manner of speaking, depending on you. You have to figure out what works for you. Okay, don't go do something and come back here and I don't want to hear it. You have to do what works for you. But I've told y'all, in between retightenings, I go around and I do this part of my hair. Why? Because these little thin ones become tangled really easily. All right. And so you may find yourself needing to go in and separate these out and gently retighten them, because you can gently retighten them. You can make it almost frictionless when you retighten them. And nobody can do it the way you do it. What y'all think about that gray coming in, huh? Show me a comment if you got any gray coming in. Tell me if you're going to hide it or if you're going to love on it. So, like, I used to have a lot of this type of hair over in here. And I said, you know what? I want to see if I can turn these into locks. And so, you know, I did that here. I separated this hair twice. I used to have 2 locks, and then when I separated it, I separated another one out. This hair here is a lot stronger, my baby hair, than this hair up here. So what I'm saying is, thinning locks are locks you need to baby. Your whole hair, you need to baby it. You need to be kinder and gentler to it. You need to watch what you're putting in your hair. Let's talk about color real quick. I color my hair, right? This is a rinse though. I still am starting to feel like this rinse is weakening my hair a little bit on the end, some of my strands. But remember, I leave the rinse in for an extra 15 minutes. Have been willing to take the risk. I also, I don't keep rinsing it out until the color washes totally out. I rinse it out for about 30 minutes and it's still some color going to come out. And I can't just keep rinsing because I'm going to be in tub all night. And you can't convince me that a rinse is going to rinse totally out, even if you rinse it for 10 hours. So somehow there may still be some residual color, but the reality is I'm still using chemicals. So rather than using the hair dye that I used to use, the Vidal Sassoon Runaway Red, I am now enjoying this rinse, which seems to last longer and give me more brightness than any permanent dye that I used to use. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've colored my hair now or put that last rinse in it. Maybe it's been 3 months, 3 or 4 months. The other thing is I don't wash my hair often. You already know that. I wash my hair maybe, and my hair used to be before I started using my oils, and when I used to have a relaxer, I could scratch my hair like this, and I could end up with a handful of fingernail full of residue. The new oil helps with that, and it always keeps my hair clean. Even the old Miracle Grow oil kept my scalp clean. My scalp is clean. My locks feel good. I wash my hair because they feel crispy sometimes, and I want to feel the softness, so I'll wash my hair. But remember, the essential oils that I'm using, they have antibacterial properties. They have antifungal properties. They kill bacteria, so it's keeping my scalp clean. So I don't need to put the drying water on my hair that has the chlorine and all of the other chemicals and further dry my hair out. So figure out what you mean when you say my hair is dirty. Is your hair, what's making your hair dirty? Is it dirty because you sweat a lot? Does it mean that you could really rinse your hair by spraying water in it and drying it out? Could you use essential oils? What can you do to keep your hair from having to experience that rough water? Because that can actually mess you up. So these are just some simple things I wanted to talk about today. Making sure to dye. If you're dyeing your hair, know that if you start using lighteners, I've never dyed my hair blonde before. I wouldn't go that light because I know that's going to mess up the integrity of my locks. Remember, the lighter that you go, each shade costs your hair in terms of its integrity. So you have to be careful when you're dyeing. Bear in mind adding extensions to your hair. If you're getting locks and you're getting them and your hair is short, I hear a lot of women ask me, should they add extensions? That's the last thing I would do. Go through that crazy looking stage. If you think it's crazy looking, it's really not. It's you and you're beautiful. Go through that stage and don't worry. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. Learn to embrace you. I felt I looked crazy in my early lock days. But you know what? If I knew that somehow putting the extensions in my hair, and it depends on the type, do your research. If I knew that putting those extensions in my hair was going to cause my hair to break or to weaken it, I don't think it's worth it. And I don't think you would do it either. So if you're thinking about extensions, consider the length of time you're going to use them for. Consider why you're actually doing it. And last but not least, as I mentioned before, thinning locks, pulling them to the side, considering whether or not you need to retighten very gently your own hair every 3 to 4 weeks to keep it from hanging by a thread, to keep the stress down, or to give it a chance to not tangle, or to prevent breakage that can occur when you let it go longer and then your loctician does it and she goes through it a little too fast. Okay, so we'll be talking about a lot of issues over the next several weeks. Stay tuned and make sure you comment. Starting with the next set of videos, anything that you see after next week, I want you to click on the link in the pin. I'm going to pin the link, and also in the description, sign up and give me your email. Even if you think I have it from ordering some stuff that's on another database. So give me that information so that I can keep you abreast, but also contact you should we need to present a united front and speak out against some of the concerns that we have that nobody seems to be answering. We're not trying to blame anyone. We are saying that these are valid concerns. If you lose all of your locks, or you lose quite a number of your locks, or you've had a misinstall, or you've had 2 or 3 installs and you've lost money because somebody who was supposed to be doing Sisterlocks did something that wasn't Sisterlocks, whatever your issues are, they have to be recognized, and you deserve some redress because you didn't just go off the street and find somebody. You went based on the name that the reputation of the Sisterlocks brand has. And with that reputation, if somebody is ethically conducting business, then you deserve to have some redress, or at least some acknowledgement when there's a problem, or there should be a channel, especially when this business is still growing and more people are coming into the fold. Imagine if you were one of those sisters that lost all of their hair. Okay, and some of you saw the last video I had two wonderful sisters who were kind enough to send in pictures, and I'm asked, this is my kitten. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, her name is Kismet. She's bad, y'all. She's so bad. She's mischievous. Her and Albie, the two of them. Kismet gets up on the counter. She opens up the pizza box or whatever, and then she throws it down on the floor, and then her and Albie end up in there just acting crazy. They're crazy. But this was the video right here. Okay? I hope you can see it. Okay? Yeah, let me see. If you haven't seen this video, take a look at it. Like I said, send me your pictures and your images. Don't be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Shame has cost us our dignity. And a lot of things that we have put into the closet, whether it be stuff happening in our lives or our family, it's time to deal with things. Don't feel ashamed. We are your sisters, and we want to band together, and is within a group that we can find strength. We all are having experiences with our hair and within our lives that it would help to have a group of supportive people that we could speak with. So let this be your community of sisters, and we can support each other, because it's very, very important that we be able to have a place where we can talk about some of the things that might actually be difficult for us on our own. If you've lost your hair, it doesn't feel good. It's not something you may want people to see, but if it can save another sister from losing her hair, then it's worth talking about, right? I have a head full of locks. I haven't lost any of my locks yet, but this is important to me, and I'm passionate about it, because when I feel like somebody has been done an injustice or a disservice, it's not about blaming someone else. It is about getting acknowledgement and getting a response so that this doesn't continue to happen to multiple people. We have to raise awareness, and sometimes you can't raise awareness without raising a little hell. And that's what I call sacred anger or sacred justice. Okay, we are all spiritual warriors and peacekeepers. We have to know when to be a spiritual warrior and when it's time to be a peacekeeper or a people pleaser, for lack of a better word. So send me your love, your love, your love. Give this video a thumbs up. Give me comments. I want comments from you. Shares. My number is 678-438-6442. For those of you who want to send me pictures and a short paragraph, I do not and cannot and should not give you advice on your sister locks, because I'm not a sister lock consultant and I'm not a cosmetologist. What I do is I research. I believe in thinking outside the box. I believe in helping people solve problems. And I like to extrapolate, and I take my experiences in life and I try to look at things in a way that helps people solve problems. So that's why I don't have a problem getting involved with things, but the choices that you make with your hair are on you. The things that I've done with my locks, if y'all knew, some of you probably wouldn't dare fool around with your locks that way. So I'm not comfortable getting advice. If someone has installed your locks and you have a problem, it is important that you see another Sister Locks consultant, because I really can't give you advice about that. But what you can do is watch my videos, and that can give you some insight into my experiences and some of the women that I've spoken to. But I'm not comfortable giving advice. So if you write me and you want to ask me what should you do, say for example you had a Sister Locks install and blah 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 blah, I can't help with that. If you write me and you're having hair loss, I'd rather you come on the channel and watch some of my videos. Just take a minute, scroll through the videos or search it on my channel, rather than me have to repeat what I might be saying on the channel already. I want to be able to be available for everybody, but I have to also minimize the repetition of what I'm doing as well. Otherwise, I'll burn out. So that's what we're talking about, everybody. 9.5 years in, grid still intact, more jacked up in the front than it is at the back, because I've made most of the changes at the front. Why? Because I see the front, and the front is more important to me. But this is where we are, and I love y'all. You're with Tanisha Ali of the Tanisha Locks channel. It's not that. It's the Tunisia Ali channel. I hope that you're doing well and going into this holiday season with a healthy mindset. I hope that you're positive. I hope that you are not allowing what's going on out here to get you down. I hope you see that there is a rhythm and a reason to what we experience in life. And the more often that you surrender to that, the better off you are going to be. Me being in here in this room, and I mean, I don't even go outside this door. I got a tiny little refrigerator over there. I got 3 boxes of saltines, 4 boxes of water. I got all these ginger shots. I got a teapot over here. I got tea. I got water. I got bottles. I got raw honey. I got my knock it out honey that y'all know I make that cures folks. I've got everything that I need. Snacks. My iPad to watch Little House on the Prairie. Y'all know I'm getting in. That's my favorite TV show. I'm from the old school. I like them old school values. So I am binge watching that. I'm getting my guidance from God during this time. I'm meditating. Like I said, I'm channeling in the sense that I'm getting some ideas about my next book. So I'm going to try to finish my book over the next several days. And I'm just enjoying the time, because were it not for this, I wouldn't take off from work, because I love my work. I love what I do. And I get up every day happy and grateful for the life that God has given me. And trust me, I am not without problems. My life is not perfect. It is likely no more perfect than yours is. That's what being human is about, right? This is not heaven, and we are not angels. So it's like you hear me say sometimes, everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. You're not going to get to heaven without dying. Not if you see heaven as something out there. That's a metaphor. But anyway, I hope that you find yourself in a place of love. I hope that you work on your relationships during this time. If you're a parent, work on the relationships you have with your children. If you are a child, which you are because you have parents, work on your relationships with your parents. See where you can mend bridges. If there's patching up in friendships that you need to do. If there are lovers that you need to connect with to what do you call, smooth things out, do that. If there are things you need to move away from that are making your life unhappy, or things that you've outgrown, or things that cause you to feel stagnant, go ahead and let those attachments go so that you can move on to the next level of your journey. Have a beautiful, peaceful, and productive evening. Bye.